My name is Tom, you're watching Sealed Shot, and it is time for a review of the brand new Pokemon TCG set, Pokemon 151. Pokemon 151 marks the first Scarlet and Violet specialty set, being the second specialty set of this year together with Crown Zenith. Scarlet and Violet started fantastically with what Crown Zenith ended in terms of the alternate arts, training gallery with, the yellow border cards and the other special cards you can get in the training gallery, fantastically with the illustration and special illustration rares, which, as you can see the way that I'm speaking, I already have a hard time saying training gallery. I'm already so used to the illustration or special illustration rare terms that I do think they actually worked. And obviously the form factor itself works fantastically. There's such a wide variety of art that you can do with these things because there isn't really a limit to it. It isn't like a certain thing that it has to have with stuff like, amazing rares, for example. You can pretty much just go loose on these cards, and obviously that has shown in Sword and Shield with numerous sets that could be dubbed one of the best sets of all time. I think that's certainly the case with some of the Scarlet Violet sets that came out this year. Obsidian Flames is the highest remark set. It is also unfortunately only based off of one Japanese set, which is Ruler of the Black Flame, which obviously past sets had the advantage of having at least a couple Japanese sets pushed into it with the English version. But I think with what Obsidian Flames got, I still think it did a pretty good job. But unfortunately, it was obviously money-centered, it was Charizard-centered. Poly Evolved, I think, in my opinion, is a better set. Yes, it is made out of 3 different Japanese sets, if I remember correctly, but it does have the quantity and the quality. Obviously, if you're going to have the form factor of illustration rares and special illustration rares together with what, other things Scarlet and Violet have to offer, I think that obviously is going to work best in terms of the quantity. Pokemon 151 to start off, come off with the return of a couple Pokemon that haven't had a card in a very long time, with the most notable one being Alakazam. Alakazam also got an EX box, but also a special illustration rare, which is only one of 4 other special illustration rares, which is the Zapdos, which has the Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno on it, and obviously the 3 final evolution of the starters. Obviously, having such fantastic cards with obviously Venusaur and Blastoise, which haven't had this form factor of, a special rare, maybe even since Tag Team, obviously feels fantastic. With Charizard itself obviously getting a special illustration rare as well. Like, honestly, I can't really knock Pokemon off of this one. It would just simply be stupid if you would do Venusaur and Blastoise and then not Charizard, but it does mark another Charizard set, technically. But I don't even think that's the most interesting thing for collectors here. Do you realize how many unknown or quote-unquote unpopular Pokemon actually get really good cards in this? I think the most notable ones would be the Caterpie, the Dragoneer, and obviously especially the Poliwhirl, which is a very pretty realistic card. 151 for sure brings a varied gallery of either unknown Pokemon or Pokemon that haven't had a card like this either in a very long time or ever. And I think that's definitely one of the strengths here, because obviously Pokemon doesn't have to worry about, this set being attached to a very known thing. Like, obviously this is Kanto, this is the first generation. People are going to know what 151 means. I didn't know what it meant for the first time, but again, I'm not old. And obviously one of the things that I like as a partially investor as well is obviously the name recognition this set has with it, the overall popularity of this set. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to go back into the hobby mainly because of what this set has to offer as well. And also one of the smaller things in these sets is obviously good. There were a lot of EXs in the last few Scarlet and Violet sets that were just not significant enough, just because they either featured a Pokemon that was obviously brand new and haven't had those memories made with people, or just not very significant Pokemon. That problem you don't get with this one, because again, it is Kanto region. It's obviously, it's going to be known for people, especially the Ninetales. I specifically want to pick out of that one. There are technically a couple gripes I could have with this set. Number one is, again, how big this set is. It's obviously only based off of one Japanese set, again, which is just Pokemon 151. It's almost pretty much the same name, and that makes for only 4 special illustration rares, which in this case, obviously the popularity factor you're going to have. So I don't think it's as significant as, Obsidian Flames only having 5 special illustration rares, which obviously are going to be a lot less known Pokemon. But there are definitely a couple of Pokemon that you could even still pick out that aren't in this set, just because they're going to be 151 of the most popular Pokemon ever. But I think the biggest gripe with this set is the time that it came out. I know that Pokemon simply doesn't bring this set out if they were 100% confident about what their sets are going to do in the future. They're obviously not 100% sure about what Paradox Rift is going to do. Obviously this set is a highlight of the year technically for Pokemon cards, but I think this really shows a peak in terms of this form factor and the things that are going to be done with these sets. We're going to try something completely new with the next couple sets, and I think it's pretty obvious that Pokemon is not 100% sure about it. This is one of those sets you can literally push out, for the holiday, maybe even for months after that, because because, you know, it is the Kanto region. It's going to be popular for a lot of people, and it's going to be a reason that a lot of people are going to go back into the hobby. I do think that shows that Pokemon is not willing to actually put this set out when they're at their absolute peak of their powers, and they have for the next like 4 to 5 sets, they have something they 100% sure can say that, you know, is 100% gonna do well. It's smart from Pokemon, but I'm pretty curious to see what would have happened if this set came out at a time that everything was gonna be fine for in the future. But I think this is one of the last times that Pokemon actually has an idea that they 100% know is going to work. Yeah, it's a good set. Like, honestly, there isn't much outside of that to say about it. Like, obviously, it has the popularity, it has that, you know, recognition, which obviously is going to help their case, but in terms of artwork, it isn't much better or worse than we've had it in the last couple Scarlet and Violet sets. It's good, you're going to enjoy it, everybody's going to enjoy it, this is going to bring a lot of people back into the hobby, and I think we can be happy about that. In terms of both the mix of popularity and in terms of quantity that we got, you know, in terms of artworks, I don't think it gets that much better than this. Of a score from 0 to 100, I'm feeling a 93. On Pokemon 151. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? I really want to know down in the comments below. If you are a returning viewer, I would really appreciate a subscription. If you enjoyed this video and this review specifically, and you think many of the things I say in this review are either noteworthy or you agree with them, then I would really appreciate a like. And I hope to see you with the next video. Thank you.